Hello, fellow culture vultures, and welcome to another talk that's coming your way. Hello, Florence.
Hello, Bettina.
Madame. Remember last time when we talked about cultural assumptions, and I gave you that example of me thinking that professionalism was the same everywhere.
Right.
Surely that must look the same in every country, every culture. And actually, that was one of the assumptions that I had to blow, because it's absolutely not true. And then we chatted a little bit about it. And you told me that story where you realized that, yes, professionalism is seen completely differently everywhere. And it goes so far as to show, certain power dynamics in business, or not only business, in other areas of life. Would you like to share that story?
Yeah, exactly. And when I experienced this situation, I thought about what you said in one of our last talks. So I do business with lots of people, German people, Finnish people, with Swiss people, so with lots of people. And I had one, let's call it incident, or no, it was a cooperation, first of all, and then it became an incident. When we used terms like transparency, we used terms like being on time, being open about, let me say, about the the things we want to work with or work about contracts and so on. Yeah.
So in German terms, very professional.
Yes, these
elements.
are very professional German terms. I mean, transparency in business is one of the keynote that we use to do business. When we do business and the other part is not transparent in what he or she does, there's no possibility in doing business. Yeah. And I realized that not everyone finds this term positive. So I made business with an African person, and this person was offended, highly offended, when we said, please, could you be transparent about the financial situation of our mutual business? Yeah. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. And the word transparency was even used as an explanation that we, in this case, so myself, or not even myself, but my assistant, that my assistant was a racist. And I would have never thought about the idea bringing transparency or the wish of transparency with racism into one bowl. Yeah. So that was interesting. It was irritating, to be honest. Yeah. But I learned a lot, and I thought, okay, I mean, I can't think like the other person thinks, because I think being transparent, being on time, and so on is a business tool that I would like to use. I don't want to be otherwise. Yeah. But obviously, in some cultures, it is not seen as a positive way of making business.
Or maybe it's seen as a way of being controlled, and that doesn't, bode well with people. But you told me about other things as well, where it was very much about that dynamics of this other person being a man.
Yes, exactly.
Dealing with a woman, so a black man dealing with a white woman in this case.
Exactly.
And it made me think a little bit about, power dynamics in the sense of men coming from patriarchal societies where the roles are just different, right? And where authority, decision-making, all those elements are with men.
Yeah.
And hold the positions of power. They are in politics, in business, in all areas of life. Maybe that played into it a little bit, do you think?
Yes, I guess, because I mean, we women, and I'm not a so-called feminist. I'm not one of these women who I really like and appreciate. But I think I'm not one of these women who say, "Hey, power to the women." Yeah, that's good, and we need women who do that. But perhaps I have other topics. Yeah,
We
but
can talk about that another time, because I think power should be given to the women so that power eventually is equal. But
yes,
sorry.
yes, of course, of course.
Yeah,
But I think, yeah, perhaps I'm not one of these speakers for this
yeah,
topic. Yeah.
fair enough. Yeah.
But still, we women are not little. We do business. We can speak up for ourselves. We can stand up for ourselves. Yeah. Call it feminism or not. Yeah. We can do all these things. And men have to realize that. And why shall I do business in another way? Or why shall I tell a colleague of mine or an assistant, make yourself small, only because a man could be intimidated? I mean, that's nonsense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it probably was expressed in that way. I can only make the assumption that it might have come from that background where, men are in the position of power, and that was not the case in this situation, in this business relationship, which is interesting because even in those societies, if we look at patriarchal societies, very often women do have the power in the background, and they steering from behind, and even when it's not visible, they may exert informal influences. However, it's not acknowledged by society in the same way, and the official power is still with the men. So yeah, that must have been really interesting. So yeah,
There is one saying that says the man is the head of the house, and the woman is the neck, and the neck steers the head wherever she wants it to. Yeah. Yeah, that's nice, and we can play these games, but I think in business we can also play games. Yes, we can, but saying that, for example, transparency is racism, for me, it was difficult. Perhaps we have listeners or viewers of our talk who can explain this, because I know that expressions are differently heard in different cultures. And perhaps it's something that I simply don't know, that in some cultures, transparency means I want to control you.
I'm pretty sure it's like that. And in other cultures, it might mean clarity, honesty,
Yes,
implied trust, or trust coming from transparency.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I love to be transparent so that the other person knows that I'm trustworthy. Yeah, so that's why I like being transparent.
Yeah. Me too.
Like an open.
I think it's deeply cultural, deeply cultural.
Yes.
And yeah, as you said, let's invite our listeners, viewers, to share their experiences with this term or another one when it comes to power dynamics in business, but not only in business, also in families, in politics, wherever you realize it. Well, thank you for sharing that story. Very interesting, Florence.
You're welcome. And, thank you for asking.
You're very, very welcome. Have a lovely day ahead.
You too. Bye.